Hello everyone and welcome to another channel on the Random Car Reviews channel. I said channel twice, yep. Nice.
Like, yep.
Let's just leave that in there. Today we are reviewing what I believe is the cheapest Fiat 500 in the country. This was purchased at a price of £2,500, not by me but by my sister, who daily drives this and upgraded from that yellow heap you saw a few videos ago. So why did it cost so little when the forecourt price of a 12-plate Fiat 500 is probably £4, £5, £6 or maybe even £7,000, especially when it's done just 31,100 miles like this one here? Well, there is a little bit of a catch. This one is Cat D. Now, if you're not familiar with cars, Cat D basically means it has been in an accident or it was stolen and recovered, but the cost to the insurance company was less than the value of the car. So I mentioned just now that this is a Category D write-off vehicle, and the reason for that isn't these scratches down here. No, they were done by my sister after purchase, but the actual reason is because the previous and only owner who had this beforehand, actually crashed into something when this car was about 3 or 4 months old, and damaged the front end. I think all it needed was a bumper replacement. It wasn't that expensive to do, but she took it through the insurance company, made the claim, and the car became a Cat D write-off, where it was bought in auction by someone else who then sold it on to my sister for the price of £2,500, the same price they actually paid in the auction of this car. Can't really tell that much, but this light here where the bumper has been replaced sticks out a tiny bit more than this one here, which is a bit more sort of set in, if you can see that little gap here. But aside from that, you wouldn't even know. And for the savings made on this car, considering that tiny accident, for a car she's going to keep, I really don't think it's that big a deal. Of course, if you were buying something like this to sell it on, it may put a lot of people off. So let's take a look at the specs of this car, under the bonnet, in the car, all that sort of thing. We'll talk you through it and then we'll go out for a drive. So under the bonnet of this Fiat 500 Lounge Start-Stop Edition, we have a 1.2 litre engine that produces 69 brake horsepower. It will get you from 0 to 60 miles an hour in about 12 seconds, with a top speed of 99, though actually going 99 in this will feel the same as sitting in a working washing machine and throwing yourself down the stairs. That being said, the small economical engine means that road tax is just £30 a year, it costs £40 to fill up with petrol, and it's cheap to insure, even for a teenager. My 20-year-old sister paid £600 for the year, which in the UK is considered cheap for anyone under 25. For the price paid, the car came with the cool spoke-style alloy wheels all round, though the speed stripes were fitted afterwards by my dad, because we all know adding speed stripes adds at least 5 horsepower, right? So I bet you're thinking it must be a mess inside, considering the low price. So up front, and the car looks brilliantly basic, yet still offers all the essentials for the modern driver, including a hands-free phone system, auxiliary connection, and a USB charging port that also doubles as a music streaming solution too. Your banging tunes can be played either through the 3.5mm jack or through your phone's USB cable. The fast food connoisseurs among you will also be pleased to know there are plenty of cup holders inside the vehicle, though even gentle acceleration would likely dislodge your Coke Zero from these very shallow enclosures. And look, I finally reviewed a manual car. This model is available in a 5-speed auto too, but I think these small city hatchbacks are best enjoyed with 5 manual gears, but we'll get to that a little later on. Continuing on the in-car tour, and one prominent feature I immediately noticed were the flusher-style handles, shall we say. The chrome finish looks good, but I'm not entirely sure about the shape, though I am a fan of the overall styling. In the back it's pretty simple, 2 seats, a couple of speakers, and 2 more unsecure cup holders for any passengers that might try and squeeze in. Honestly, it looks small, but I've sat back here for a couple of hours on a journey, and it wasn't too bad. Back up front here, and you can toggle through various options behind the wheel, such as range, fuel economy, as well as average speed and MPG. This car so far seemingly has averaged 40 miles to the gallon, which really is quite good. Right, so in terms of storage space in the back, this is about as big as it gets. You may be able to get a couple of suitcases here if you're rushing off to the airport in your newly acquired city vehicle, but aside from that, it really isn't that spacious, to be quite honest. Or maybe it's a little bit more spacious than I initially thought. Ta-da! So let's start her up. Stupid stop-start technology. Oh. Yes. So I've got all the windows down today because there's an absolute heat wave on at the moment. Excuse me if you can't quite hear me, but if I roll these windows up, I might just perish. Driving the Fiat 500, and it's actually very nice. The steering's very light and it's just perfect for little tiny suburban roads like the ones we have here in England. If you put your foot down, not much happens for a while, but with a 5-speed manual box as opposed to all the other automatics I've been driving in my other reviews, it really is a nice change of pace. If we activate the little city steer button now, oh, it makes the steering a lot lighter for those tight corners. I wasn't actually expecting that. It's actually really light.
I've never tried it.
It's really light. Yeah, it's really light. I wouldn't actually use that unless you're in a really tight situation. Oh, that's unbelievable when you do that. Now, I haven't had quite so much fun driving anything recently as I have this little Fiat 500. That yellow car I reviewed a couple of videos ago was almost as much fun, but there's just something about this that really does make it great to tear around not only the city but the countryside as well. As you can see, I'm in the great British countryside now, and it just feels nice. Windows down, nice summer breeze on my face. The car does want me to go into 5th gear at 25 to 30 miles an hour, which isn't surprising considering the small engine, but that makes it all the more fun. Changing gear all the time, accelerating, just driving about in such a snappy, fun and exciting manner. If you want fun and you want a small, cheap car to run, then I would strongly advise buying one of these on the used market, because you can get one for under £3,000 or £4,000 usually, and that's even if it isn't a Cat D like this one. And they're just brilliant little cars.